All right, y'all, we're going to talk about emotions. Why? Because I'm a pretty emotional mofo. I'd say that majority of times when I'm watching a TV show, maybe I'm reading a book, and if there's a story about father and son and they're having a moment, I definitely get teary eyed. I mean, when I played God of War, the most recent one, 2018, and then God of War Ragnarok, that game had me emotional. A lot of scenes had me emotional because of the father son things. And that's from my very own life. And I've talked about growing up without a father and reconnecting with him later on in life. But it's more to me because being a father is one of my greatest goals in life, um, to a son or daughter. Um, but I think that us men being emotional is okay. Us sharing that we're emotional is okay. There is two sides to this though, because online, these guys like freaking Andrew Tate or all these guys that are super tough, they sometimes have to kill off this emotional aspect of them to be tough. Maybe they had a really difficult upbringing and the people around them just weren't emotional. They grew up, in poverty, and in poverty, you don't have time to be emotional. You have to hustle and you have to make sure that you're doing things to make ends meet, to get food on the table, to have a roof over your head. I've been there. I know what that's like. And we've we've seen a rise of more programs and more men being open to this idea of emotionality and be open to things like therapy to talk through and understand their emotions because we can easily like stuff it away. We're really good at that. But it comes a time where you need to utilize both. I think that a lot of these guys online that are trying to be tough and all that shit, it works for a short amount of time. See, there's moments in your life and points in your life that you need to be that man. You need to suck it up. You need to put the emotion somewhere and just hustle, get after it. You just need to. If you're in war, there ain't no time to sit and cry. Bullets are whizzing past you. There's no time. You got to get to the next objective. You got to get to the next area. You got to do whatever you need to do to survive. And as emotional you may be, as afraid as you may be, you have to fight through that. And there are those moments in life where it feels like you're on a freaking battlefield. And there's going to be times where you're going to want to cry your balls out from anger or cry your balls out from the sadness and all that feeling, things build up inside you. And sometimes you don't even know the emotion that you're feeling, but you're feeling it. See, one of my favorite books is The Body Keeps the Score. And in The Body Keeps the Score, which is a very popular book, it shows that anything we go through in an emotional way lives in our body. I can give you an example of this. I do not like flying. I love to travel, but I'm not a fan of flying. Flying is cool, but being stuck in a metal tube in the sky that's being held by nothing, not grounded, um, it's magic. Obviously, it's very smart people who build these things and they practice it, and there's all these safety protocols and everything, which is cool. But there have been accidents in the past, and knowing that just freaks me out. Even though it's the safest way of travel, it's safer than a car, and I feel safer in a car. It makes no sense logically. It makes no sense, but um, I still feel it. I still feel crazy anxiety if I'm hitting crazy turbulence while I'm on a flight. I feel it in my body. Like my body clenches up. Everything clenches up. And after I get off the plane, what I've learned to do, and I learned this through reading The Body Keeps the Score, and I've read another book by an author that talks about this as well, where we're animals at the end of the day. And you see when a dog is really hyped up and everything, in order to calm down, they shake it off. Any animal in the wild does that. And your emotions live in your body. Just like when I'm on the flight and I get out, I breathe, I stretch, I move my body in ways that I need to in order to get it out. Sometimes I'll even go to the bathroom, lock myself in one of the stalls where you People go to take a crap, and I just shake my body to remove the angst in it, because I know it will just live there and it'll cause health issues in the future, especially things like constipation that happen because I'm not letting it out of my body. I'm not moving, walking, running, stretching, like whatever I need to do to just, you know, push that energy out. Because we live in a world that's mostly invisible. Everything that we see is created through our brain. Andrew Huberman talks about it. But those are emotions. Same thing. They get stored in your body. You're feeling anger, it's going to be stored in your body. It needs to come out. There's even science proven that tears are actually a great source. When we release tears, we're actually getting more serotonin and all these other hormones that help us feel better, which is why you feel so much better after you have a good cry. So, when I say if you're emotional, just let it out. It might not be tears. I'm not specifically saying that, but you need to let out the emotions. If you're feeling anger, let it out in a punching bag. I love jujitsu for this reason, because if I'm feeling it, I'll utilize that. Just the movement and all of that. Just I'm dumping all that energy out on the mats. The gym, yeah, it kind of helps, but I feel like it's still pretty stagnant, especially if you're lifting heavy. You're moving in one specific movement. I need to be able to flow. So things like yoga, jujitsu, even running helps a lot. Lifting helps a little bit. I need to do something more than just lift. But feel your emotions. If I always say, if you haven't cried in 6 months, this is a great tool I learned from a TV show. There's a TV show on Apple TV called Shrinking. And in the TV show, while I won't spoil anything, I'll let you know this. It's a tool that one of the therapists talked to one of the characters about. And he says, sit in a room for 15 minutes and listen to the saddest song you have, and just bawl out, cry, put it on repeat for 15 minutes, put a timer, and just let out what needs to go. Sometimes you'll need to scream, sometimes you'll cry, sometimes you need to let go of some anger and punch a pillow. Whatever that is, we are animals. As much as this society wants us to believe otherwise, at the end of the day, it's how they control us. It's by, hey, you're fine. Here's these drugs to like numb you. Here's this food that numbs you as well. Here's this. It's always numbing, numbing, numbing. And the beauty about being human and about being a man specifically is that you have this vast array of emotions and feelings, and the fact that you're able to use this body to do amazing feats is something that you should be grateful for. So let that out. And one thing I'll leave you with, if you really want to cry and you know that you can, go on YouTube and type in "make me cry," and it'll work. You'll find videos um, that will make you emotional. Something has to hit. Maybe it could be animals. Maybe it could be a military person coming back home after a long trip. Uh, it could be, family members reuniting after never knowing each other. Uh, it could be anything like that. It could be a reconnection between a son and a father, or a daughter and a mother, a daughter and father, whatever it is. You find what pulls those heartstrings and just release. And I'd say I try to do that at least every 6 months. I try to check in. Like, when was the last time you cried, bro? I look. Life moves at such a fast pace that sometimes I'll catch something and I'll feel it, but I'm like, I can't cry right now because I'm in public. I can't put this feeling out because I'm at work, whatever the excuse may be, and I don't have time to just go in the bathroom and like let it out real quick. I need to make sure that it doesn't live in my body for the long term. So, guys, we are emotional creatures. As much as everyone wants to tell you we're not, tell you to be tough and all that, sometimes you have to let it out in order for you to be strong. You need to release, because all that shit is going to catch up to you one day, and who knows what it'll turn out. If it's true what the body keeps scoring, the science behind it, that can turn into sickness, cancer one day. If anything, cancer, sicknesses are most created through being in a stressful state, in a very emotional state, but just hiding it. And that's not the world we need to live in nowadays. So, with that, I hope this helped. I'm curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And let's start a conversation. Until tomorrow.